So I was just really, really excited when I saw the photo of it. And then when I saw it in real life, my stomach literally went like, oh shit, I've never rode anything that big.
What's up, everybody? I am joined by Dennis Enarson, who is live from outer space, and we are going to talk about the really crazy tail whip at the end of his last video part. So, Dennis, I guess you're still in outer space since the launch of your last video. Has the post excitement hangover worn off yet from the launch of Right Here?
No, it's been great. It's just out here in space, recovering, no gravity. It's really perfect for everything. Just getting ready for the next adventures. But until then, I'm just going to keep orbiting on the space station for a bit. And it's cool. We got communication. The internet works great up here. So me and you can talk whenever.
Well, that's fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about this tail whip that ended your video part. That was absolutely one of the craziest clips in the history of BMX. I know this clip was a long time in the making. So kind of building up to it. When you first saw that spot, what did you think? Were you excited, or does it make you nervous because you know you have to do something because it's such a perfect spot?
When Christian showed me he took a photo of it. He was just up there on a trip and I wasn't there with him. Took a photo of it, showed it to me, and I was like, oh my God, let's go. Like, I'm going to do whatever I want off of that thing. It looked perfect, but the scale of it in the photo made it just look like a normal roof and a normal bank. And he's like, dude, it's really big. And when Christian says that, it's like, he knows what I know. We have the same idea of what really big is. He knows that he's not just saying it's not. And I was like, is that bigger than a normal roof? He's like, dude, it's like 2 stories high and then the bank is fucked. And I was like, okay, it can't be that big. The picture looks so good. So I was just really, really excited when I saw the photo of it. And then when I saw it in real life, my stomach literally went like, oh shit, I've never rode anything that big. Like, it made me nervous. I looked at it like, okay, I had to like rearrange my thought process. And I was like, maybe I'll bar spin off of it or something. And then I went to the top of the roof, and that's when I realized like how high it was. So it's probably the highest drop I've ever rode. Maybe the Nike video was comparable, but I'm not sure. I think it was higher. I think this is higher, and it's really close to the bank. So if you creep off of it, you still go like, a quarter of the way down the bank. And if you take a good crank, you go like halfway down the bank. So that just like adds so much height to the drop every time you go a little too fast. So you got to creep.
So at what point did you start thinking tail whip? You initially saw it, you thought bar spin. Is it because you were up there and just the setup from the top down, tail whip made more sense for you? Or at what point did tail whip become the focus?
Well, I started with caps lock going there, the video, my demolition part before this Vans part, the last big one I made. And I went there with Christian and a big crew of guys, a bunch of good friends. And I just was like, I don't even know if you can roll into this. Everyone climbed on the roof with me, and they're like, yeah, it kind of looks like you might explode a little bit. But there was this one guy, John McGowan, who's a really good rider, and he films crazy clips. And he's like, dude, you fucking got that. And if you don't do it, I'm going to do it. And I don't know if he really was going to do it, but it pumped me up. I was like, all right, John, I'm going to roll into this thing. And at that point, I just thought, roll into it and see how it feels. The bar spin was like, maybe bar spin, because it's so close. Like, I don't even know if I could trick off of this thing. And I rolled off of it going really slow, and I never felt like a free fall like that with that amount of speed, at least. And so I got back end heavy, stomped my foot down, and just destroyed my ankle. And I was like, well, I got to get back up there and at least get the roll in. So I got the roll in for caps lock. That's where that happened. And then my head, once I got the roll in good, the second time I realized, like, just don't freak out. And it's smooth enough. That changed in my head. Like, I can trick off that thing. It's really scary and I have to land it, but I can get a trick off of it. And then, just the brainstorm started flowing, and I was like, fuck bar spin. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to whip off this thing.
So you get the roll in for caps lock. You hurt your ankle. Did you want to initially get the tail whip for caps lock, or was it in the back of your mind for a future project you wanted to bring that out?
I can't remember. I know it was in the back of my mind regardless. And I think I did want to get it for caps lock. I was like, the rooftop grind hard 180. I was like, that'd be cool if that wasn't the last clip, because I filmed that the first day of filming for caps lock. So I was like, I want that to, like that could be a solid second to last clip, and then boom, this whip. But yeah, I think I did want it for caps lock, and we went back, and I think my ankle hurt for like, dude, it was like 6 months, I think, something crazy where it was some pretty serious damage, and I would just wrap it up and film. And after that was kind of miserable filming. It was still fun, but it was like I was so picking and choosing. So there was wind like crazy, and I think I kind of wrote it off in my mind. Like, I'm not going to get it for this video part. But I was like, well, at least I if this roof's still here, I have something that would be really happy with for my next part. And then that next part Vans Right Here organically happened, and I was like, the whole time I knew even if I did something crazier that roof whip was probably going to be the banger, just because it would mean so much to me if I got it. It was like a thing like that really, really meant a lot. I don't know. Because I think the gap tag's the last clip. There's a couple clips in Right Here that actually probably were like more I don't know. There's a few that compare on like the whole, like, if you don't land this, you're fucked.
Was it weird for you to kind of one up yourself? I know you don't traditionally do things like that, to have the drop and then have the whip. It's kind of uncharacteristic of you. I understand, because it's such a massive spot and both of them are such crazy clips. But was that something you were conscious of or gave any thought to?
No, I mean, yeah, a little bit, because honestly, Caps, like I told Christian, I didn't want to use that clip, just the roll in. I was like, no, that's going to make people know that that spot exists, and I just want to show them, boom, like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't even want to put that spot out there yet, just to surprise him when I do the trick off it. But he had good points where he's like, dude, it's so big, people are still going to like it, and it just makes the spot look awesome, knowing that like it's taking you that much work to even get a clip on it, or like to get a trick off of it. So like, let's just use it. And I was like, okay. And then when I did use the roll-in, people were really hyped on it, and Christian was right. You know, it was like, holy shit, people did just think that roll-in was cool. Like, I actually had people like screenshotting, messaging me like, holy fuck, you rolled into this. So it was just even more motivating. Like, wow, okay, it does look big enough in footage to where it's like worth going and doing this scary ass trick.
Caps Lock came out a little over 2 years ago. The Vans video came out a couple weeks ago. How much time actually passed from when you did the initial drop in on Caps Lock to when you actually filmed the tail whip for Right Here?
I have no idea. I'd say like 4 years or something, probably.
So, when
years.
you initially did the drop, it was quite a bit before Caps Lock came out, or when exactly did you do the whip off?
That was way before Caps Lock came out. That was like right when me and Christian started filming together for Caps Lock, because me and Mastroni were working on it together, and Christian took over like more than 50% of that project. And yeah, so that was like midway through Caps Lock. Caps Lock came out one of those US Opens years ago. I remember that. But I don't know what year. And then I didn't start filming for Right Here. So it's 4 years ago, I'd say. I don't know. We could do some crazy math, but let's just 4 years. It might be more. I'd say between 5 and 3. 4. Boom. 4 years.
So how many times in that gap did you actually go back? I know you didn't just go back and whip off it. I know there was a lot more to this. It was more complicated. So what took place between those two events as far as trying to get this done?
Wind. About 2 trips to go and do it, and it was too windy both times. I was like, I'm not gonna, because if I just barely take my foot off, and it hurt for 6 months after, you know, like I might have broke my ankle. I'm not sure what I did. I never got checked out, but it was like, it's just too risky of a spot to mess up. And I'm like, I can't fucking just rush it again and get caught in the wind. Cause that's kind of the first time I rolled in off it. There was gusty winds, and that was another reason where I got all Evel Knievel style and pulled the front end up. And yeah, it was just wind. And so I think it was 2 times to go look at it, and it was just like, it's too windy, can't do it. And then I've been on like trips up there too without filming for the video part, like another trip with like just for separate things. And I drove down the freeway and been like, there it is, you know. But it's like I looked at it, it was kind of haunting me a little bit in a weird way, you know. Like I would have been totally fine if it was just windy again and I couldn't do it, you know. It'd probably still be haunting me, and that's why it felt so good to get it done, because it had been 2 trips to go do it, and then a couple other trips where I wasn't going up there to do it. I was there for like skate park trips or other missions, and I drove down that freeway and I wouldn't even tell anybody, because like you could just see it way up on the hill, and I'm like, there it is. Like, it's still just sitting there in the wind.
Take us through the day when you finally got it done.
The day when I finally got it done, me and Christian are staying at a Airbnb in Oakland. It's the middle of coronavirus. It's like basically dead. The riots just are like kind of in and out like crazy. Everyone is just so scared to do everything, it seems like, and we don't give a shit. We're out here making a video part. Chad's staying with his girlfriend like 45 minutes away, his girlfriend's parents' house. So Chad's working on a Rockstar part, and I'm with Christian working on my part, and we're just out there. And the days leading up to it, we were getting stuff we were hyped on, just super hyped on how the trip was going. And that day, got some good breakfast, normal stuff. I think Chad got a really sick clip that day. And then I filmed a homie clip for his Rockstar part. So the blood was flowing. And I think Chad was tired because he'd worked on something. I know he was tired because I was like, do you mind if we go look at the roof if you're done riding? And he's like, yeah, I'll come with you. And it was a pretty far mission for him too. So I was like, that's sick, Chad's coming. Like, that was already kind of like a little bonus. Like, because Chad's been there for a lot of bangers. And he's always like really, really like gives good energy when you're about to do something. and our friend Greg was there, who was like a lifelong friend as well. So it was like me, Greg, Christian, and Chad, who are like, we've been in the car together filming and out getting clips since like Demolition Last Chance days and even before that. So yeah, we get to the roof and it's windy again, but it's the first time Chad's seen it, and he's just freaking out. He's just like, no one would go on the roof with me this time, because I don't think Christian's ever climbed up there, and Greg and Chad wouldn't even climb up to the top of the roof. So I'm up there all by myself, like, fuck, man, this thing's still here. It's still perfect. I didn't need to do any work on it. And I just sat up there and I was like, asked everyone, I was like, you guys sure no one wants to get any more clips today? Everyone done? Like, we should just stay here till the end of the day, just in case it stops getting windy. Like, I'm going to ride and warm up a little bit and just maybe. So I'll get my bike out of the truck. We're riding around. I think some beers get cracked. It's kind of the end of the day for everyone else. And I'm just like, whatever, like, it's windy. It's not going to happen today, but we have like 3 more days or something. And then we looked at the wind charts, and it's supposed to be windy every day. I'm like, man, like, and Christian's like, well, it looks good if you get up at like 5:45 in the morning and we get over here at like 6:30. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to ever whip off this roof at that time of the day. Like, I don't ride at that. I'd be better off staying up all night and then turning it into like a late night mission. And I was just in my head, like, that is going to be insane. And so I was like, let's just stay. And honestly, like, as I committed to staying, the wind slowed down, and it was like, here we go. This is it. And I'd only dropped off it that one time, fucked my ankle up, and then rolled off it again and got the clip for caps lock. So I hadn't even rolled into it since then in like 4 years, because it was just too windy. It's too scary to do with all the wind. And the wind slowed down, and I was like, you guys, Chad, can you hand me my bike up? And got to do this crazy mission to grab my bike from Chad off the roof. I'm like hanging off of this roof, and he's stepping on this gate thing that like goes halfway up the roof. Get the bike up there. I'm up there by myself, and I'm like, all right, you guys, I'm going to roll into this thing. And the wind was seriously like, it was like every 10 minutes was slowing down. It's like gusty San Francisco wind, to all of a sudden it's like basically perfect. And this probably just as scary as the Tailwhip actually was that first roll in 4 years. Cause it's like, if I mess up, there goes riding for a while. And I got the roll in, and then I did it again, probably like 5 times, just to keep getting more and more comfortable. And then the wind was like completely gone at that point. I wasn't even waiting for the gust to end. And then told everyone I'm doing it right here, turned around and kicked the whip and landed so hard my back tire got a flat, but it didn't mess with me at all, and just rolled out of it. And that's why I kind of threw the fist up, and it was just like, it's done. Like, I wasn't saying that because the video part was done at all. Like, I didn't even think that. I still had more clips to film for the video part. The video part wasn't even really done, but I was just like, that's done. Like, that whip is done haunting me. I've been thinking about this for 4 years, like getting a real clip. I'm happy with this. And that's why it's a banger, because it means the most to me. Like, that gap to pegs down there, like 13 flat 13 in Columbia might be just as crazy, or as a few other things in the video part. But that to me was like, that was a banger for me.
So you're not much of a fist pump guy. So that was like a genuine fist pump.
That was like, dude, like, that was for the boys. I think I told them all. I did tell them, like, because I genuinely love those guys. I was like, I love you guys. Like, this is for us and for BMX and for everything. Like, who cares if I get hurt? I'm doing this shit for the love of it. And I knew I wasn't gonna get hurt. When I do something, I know. But it's just like how bad that messed my ankle up. I just, like, one thing goes wrong, I slip the pedals and both feet go down, and I do the speed at the bottom of that bank, and there's still like a 3-foot drop at the bottom. Like, I was just like, you just can't mess up, So it's like, well, at least the boys know I love them if anything does go wrong. and then it just worked so perfect. As soon as I kicked it, I was like, oh my God, this is sick. Like, I knew as soon as I kicked it, I was landing it. It was like, in my head, I'm doing this. And then it wasn't even scary anymore, and it was just fun. And that's why when I landed, it was just like, well, that's done. It was like a 1-second trick for 4 years.
I'm sure it's hard to pick, but all things considered, would you say this is your favorite clip of your career?
I'd say, yeah. I think, yeah, that's kind of what we were all talking about. It felt like everything in BMX to me, like, led up to that day and kicking that whip off of that roof. Like, I think that the bar manual whip and Demolition Last Chance might be like more savage and reckless, because like that's just into the grimiest bank, and it's a manual whip. That my last trick in the very first Demolition DVD I ever filmed. But this is my favorite just because of, like, I was like, I'm 29, and the like thought process to that trick went so much further. This whip, that bar manual whip, was like, oh, I didn't get my banger, let's go get another one. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I was like down to just die on that like nasty cement back then. This time I was like, no, I want I'm so like hyped on riding, and I was back then too, but I was just younger and I didn't really care about taking time off. Like now I just love riding so much, and I know how happy it makes me. So to get that really, really scary thing at that point in my life, and where I know I just want to be as healthy as possible, was like probably my favorite clip ever. Yeah. Just like the whole process to it and where I'm at in my life and everything. So yeah, I'd say that was like the best feeling of any clip I've ever filmed.
Are you officially done with this spot?
I don't know. It's really good. It's huge, but it's a perfectly flat roof. And now that I've rolled into it a bunch of times, I know that the impact isn't that bad. Even with the whip, I landed pretty ghetto. It looks smooth, but I did land ghetto, and my back wheel blew out, popped, and it's like, all right, well, there's tricks to do off of that thing. Still, like, there's a plot, but I don't know. We'll see. I can't say no.
Not totally writing it off.
No, I mean, shit, if I go back there, there's maybe, who knows? I plan on filming and stuff for a long time. So, maybe I'll be really good at some trick someday that I think's cooler than the tailwhip and go put in another video part. But as of right now, I don't have any tricks in my head for it.
I remember when you first did that big tailwhip in the Nike video, it was really exciting. It was really huge. And then not that long after, Drew went and trucked it. Do you see anybody else going and riding this spot?
I really hope someone does a backflip off of it, like a gainer, because it's really close to the bank. And I feel like if you're good at that trick, this is like the spot for it. So like Simonuk or Kenneth Pincio or someone, like I would hope someone goes and does that. A truck, man, aside from Drew, I don't really see anyone trucking off of it. I would love to see it, but it is, your front wheel will be so close to the roof because of how slow you're going, with the pop and everything. So like just to do that, I don't know. Someone could do it. The truck is there. The truck's there. It'd be the biggest every trick would be the biggest, slowest one. You could half cab it still. There's switch whip. There's everything. There's every trick. Even someone wants to go get a no-hander, whatever, like it's there. I can send you a pin. Any kid wants to go get a trick on that thing, I would love to see it.
Awesome, Dennis. Well, it was an incredible clip. I think everybody let you know that already, so it's probably no shock to you. But congratulations on 4 years of hard work, and I'm excited to hear it might not be a completely closed book.
On that roof spot?
Yeah.
No. I don't know. I don't know, man. That's a good question. I never really thought. I think when we were leaving, Christian's like, "So we're never coming here again?" And we were all like, "Yeah, fuck this spot." Just like that's just the. When I say doing a trick off it sounds so cool, but it is just the wind and like the whole pressure behind this spot is so much more than just going and doing the trick off of it. Like that's what is crazy. And then when I think about all that, it's like, maybe I don't want to even get going on that spot again, because it's all the way in San Francisco for me too. So it's like this, it's a crazy piece of pressure, like being down in San Diego, working on a video part and knowing that your banger's up there sitting in the wind and it only isn't windy a little bit. So maybe I'll find a more, for my next part, a banger that doesn't have to deal with the elements. That'd be really nice.
Awesome. Very much looking forward to the next one. I know you've got things to do. Appreciate the time. And thanks again for the incredible video. It might get us all through 2020 alive.
Woo, 2020. Thanks. I'm going to meet up with a surprise for everyone, but the guy who I'm going to make my next video part with, we're going to brainstorm how we're going to do it right now. So very excited to move forward and keep doing cool shit for BMX and for myself.
Is it Steven Spielberg?
We'll see.
Thanks, Dennis.
Bye, Kyle.